If I didn't tell you, would you know who was who? Hello, hello. Welcome back to another Tom Ford Tuesday. Happy Tom Ford Tuesday, where Tuesdays I dedicate to Tom Ford beauty. Today we're continuing our little side quest to see if we can find something that is worth comparing to our beloved, but unfortunately discontinued Mink Mirage. So today's video is actually a requested one. Again, I love the ideas that I'm getting and the palettes that you're interested in seeing. Hey Mo, check this one out. Keep it coming. It was asked of me to put our Mink Mirage up against the brand new Patrick Ta Major Dimensions Essential Artistry Edit Eyeshadow Palette in Deep. I do have the larger variation of this. We'll kind of check this out as well, but this is the one we're going to see if, you know, she's up to par, she's good enough, worthy enough to compare to our beloved Mink Mirage. And I honestly think it's perfect timing, especially with the Sephora sale coming up too. Hey, is it something we want to check out? Or will the side quest continue? The side quest will continue either way, because I do have some other brilliant requests that I cannot wait to share with you. But let's get into it. We'll compare, we'll swatch, and of course we'll create a look with both side by side so we can see. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's hydrate and begin. So let's start off with Mink Mirage, what I like to crown the gold standard for mattes. It's such a shame. They recently brought back a couple of palettes, and I believe there was a reformulation involved. And I don't know how I'm feeling about that, but that was last Tom Ford Tuesday. But what I'm getting at is, why wouldn't you bring back a basic like this that we all love, even Cocoa Mirage, up for consideration? You know what I mean? But that's a better reason to continue with our little side quest that we have going on here on Tom Ford Tuesday. So, the requested Patrick Ta Major Dimensions Edit, we'll just cut it short, the Major Edit eyeshadow palette. This translates to me as a smaller, more condensed variation of the bigger one. Now they do have three options: light, medium, and deep. This is meant for your effortless everyday looks, as what I interpret Mink Mirage to be, so we're already looking pretty good. So I'm just gonna read this little thing off the back for you. Patrick curated this matte eyeshadow palette with only the essentials. 6 neutral shades that make everyday looks more effortless than ever. Velvety smooth formula designed to layer, build, and blend seamlessly into skin while providing true color payoff that lasts all day. I will tell you that when it comes to Patrick Ta Beauty, I've tried a good amount of product, and I will say I do think that the eyeshadows feel very thought out, very curated in a sense of this is realistic, this is practical. It's giving that Tom Ford kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Where it's thought out, it's curated, it's practical, and it's stuff you want to use. I remember the first time I ever tried Patrick Ta Beauty, the first thing I said was, oh, that packaging looks very similar to Tom Ford. But it kind of opens a little different. So you open it from here, and this little lever is versus Tom Ford that you open, and the lever's down there. But I mean, it's a little bit similar, yeah? I'm going to swatch all three palettes for you side by side because I am very curious to see how they feel, how they look, and we'll start with that. Obviously, swatches, they never tell you the full story. They just kind of give you an idea of what to expect, and I want to know what we have to expect here. Plus, I need to see which colors pair up with our Mink Mirage to see who and what we're going to be using on the eyes today. So here we are side by side. And I love that this was thought to be an option. I just quickly want to show you what I'll call the original, because again, these were curated to be just smaller variations of these larger palettes, and he just picked a couple of shades out of here pretty much is what I assume I read properly. But here these two are side by side, and I know you can already find the matchings, the pairings. I love these colors. I love, love, love these colors. Right? So every day we love it. And the classic, our beloved Mink Mirage. for perfectly curated matte shades, ivory, taupe, chocolate brown, and black. I mean, hello, what more could we ask for? This palette, in my humble opinion, defines understated luxury, and it's still one of the best matte formulas I've ever used. It's so creamy, so easy to work with, and just delivers every single time. That's why I feel like I have loved sharing this little series within the series with you. And I love that we're on this little side quest together to find, again, I don't want to dupe this. I've made that extremely clear. I don't use that word. No, no, no. We're not duping. We're just finding what is worthy enough to say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't get this anymore, but check this out in the meantime. So let's swatch Mink Mirage. Ooh, every single time. So creamy, so good. Let's right. It's like butter, literal butter. So creamy, so beautiful. All right, so let's swatch this one. Feels nice and smooth and soft to the touch. These are pretty colors, wow. These are very, very pretty colors, aren't they? Yes. Quite creamy. This one felt a little dry, but I mean, it's not bad. I'm very curious about this black in here. That's rich. Okay. Okay. All right, I think I know the colors that we can use out of here. You can probably see just by these swatches, some of them were a little stiff. You can see just by the swipes that these are just super creamy and smooth. But again, it's just a swatch. We're not going to hold it. We're just here to see what we have to expect. But we're looking pretty good. So I will say we can use this to match up with this. We're going to have to use this to match up with this, but you can already tell this is a bit darker. For this beautiful chocolate brown shade, I'm going to go with this and then the black. Yeah. So that's the plan. It's these two and these two that we're going to be using in comparison to the Tom Ford. Okay. For the sake of just sharing this with you, because again, I don't know, the Sephora sale is coming up and maybe you're curious how these look side by side. I'll just share quick swatches with you. I think I can fit it all on here. I'm going to try. Dang, this is so much better of a match with this than this is. But that's okay. That is okay. We're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. This little simple thing, this flap, saves so much powder from getting in the creams. It's unbelievable. Oh my goodness. I'm not swatching the greatest today. So that's that first row from the big palette. Let's swatch this row. So creamy, so smooth. Yes. So here's Mink Mirage. Here is that smaller Patrick Ta palette, and then here is the big one. You can probably see just by the swatches, these are super creamy. The Mink Mirage is super creamy. The new one seems to be super creamy, but again, these three brown shades right here, you can just see from me swatching. They're not that they're stiff, the texture is just a little different. It wasn't as creamy as everybody else's. You know what I mean? Now, really quick, if you already have the large Patrick Ta, let's see what shades I think are going to be the most comparable to our Mink Mirage. From the top row here, I would go with this shade for the lightest. That's it right here. Okay. And then you know what? Actually, I think the tone of this one from the bottom is a little bit closer to the Mink Mirage. And then for the chocolate brown, I actually feel like this darkest shade is translating the best for the chocolate brown from Mink Mirage, and then the black. It's nice and rich and beautiful. So this one, this one, this and this. All right. All right, I'm excited. I'm ready to try these on the eyes and see. We're gonna do them side by side. Same brushes like we always do. Clean the brush in between with our Sigma switch. And everything, as always, will be listed and linked down below in the description box. All right, Sigma switch. It's on my lap. That's what I'll be using to clean off the brushes in between, because I'm going to side by side, same brushes, same colors, and create our look. Everything's gonna be listed and linked down below, but my goodness, this, I feel like this is just allowing me, it's giving me more reason to continue not wearing foundation. I love foundation. I really do, you know this. But this, Après Serum, Après Glow, yeah, this is from the Soleil Neige collection. This is so beautiful on the skin. Just this and some concealer. I'm wearing this for base, this for concealer. This is from Live Tinted. It's a serum concealer. I know it's Tom Ford Tuesday, forgive me, but I've been really enjoying this and it just looks so good on the under eye. I'm wearing my Alpine blush and then the Shade and Illuminate contour on the cheeks. So we're all set for base. Let's create a nice eye look now. Wayne Goss E3, let's go into this shade here. Tap the excess. And this, I'm just going to focus this in the crease. Look how easy, creamy, smooth. I mean, I could go on and on. I think it's undeniable when it comes to this Tom Ford formula that it's just really good. This palette and Nude Dip, is the reason I have as many Tom Ford palettes as I do. Yes, they're not all the greatest. There have been some palettes over the years that I'm like, wait, what are you guys doing? No. And recently, I can very honestly tell you that I was a bit disappointed in that new, obviously there was a touch in that formula. They reformulated it somehow. They did something, because that Daydream, something's not right there. But if you want to see what I'm talking about, because I like to let things speak for themselves, check out previous Tom Ford Tuesday where we dabbled on it. Okay, so I'm going to clean this brush off. So same brush, let's go into this shade from Patrick. And let me get close so you can see what's happening. Got a little bit of kick up, not a big deal. I'm just going to tap that excess. And let's do the same thing. This, we're just blending directly into the crease. This color, it's not the greatest of match, but it's as close as we're going to get. So we're going to make it work. We must. We are gonna make it work. It's blending nicely though. Definitely blending nicely. This is a What's Up Beauty R102. It's a very small little fluffy brush. I'm gonna take it and go into the lightest shade. Just pack that on my brush. And inner corner, we're just brightening up the eye. And just blend that in. I love doing this. I do it all the time. It's kind of like my thing. I like doing that a lot. And you see how smooth and easy that blends in? Very nice. Clean off the brush on the Sigma switch and let's see what the Patrick Tar one will do for us. So let's go in. It's given a little bit of kick up as well, but again, it's eyeshadow. It's gonna kick up a bit. Tapping the excess, and let's do the same thing. Okay. Okay. Smooth. And I don't feel I'll have to go in and build this up. Very nice. I feel like this eye look is already a little more cooler, and this one is a little bit more warmer. And we've only used 2 shades. It's very pretty. Very, very pretty. Very nice. Okay, I've gone back into the E3 from Wayne Goss. Let's go into this gorgeous, my favorite shade, the rich chocolate. Pack that on, tap the excess, and this, I'm going to start on the outer eye, and then whatever's left, blending it onto the lid. I'm being careful not to go too high up in the crease. We'll go back and blend the crease in a moment, but I want to keep majority of the brown on the lid. Keep it nice and soft. Personally, when working with darker colors, I feel comfortable with this Tom Ford. I can still control the colors. It's not going to get too carried away too quickly because it's so creamy, but it's pigmented as well. So it's doing a good job. Oh, yes. I worked a little backwards. I should have done the inner corner after, but listen, we're just hopping all over the place. Being unpredictable. Never let them figure out your next move, all right? Oh. The shape of this brush is awesome because it's nice and tapered at the tip. So I'm just focusing that in my crease and blending it. So everything is nice and smooth. Thank you. Cleaning off the brush. Now let's go into this shade. That's nice. And you know what? This had a stiffer consistency than these two. I will say, in this palette, these 4 shades had a stiffer consistency than these two. These 2 shades were really soft and creamy. So as I'm going into this shade, you'll see there's not much kick up. See that? Getting the pigment on the brush, but there's not comparing to the kick up that I got up top. So I don't know. Let's see. Okay, going on good. Nice and pigmented. Hopefully it blends the way I want it to. Okay, I think we're okay. Okay, going on good. Blending nicely. Yeah, okay. No problem there. I will say the feel of this shade, like I expected from the swatch, it's a little bit stiffer. The Tom Ford is just creamy and smooth. This, I feel like the slightest of dryness and a little tug, but it's delivering on pigment. You know what I mean? And it's smooth, but there is a difference. I have a wedding coming up and I'm trying to figure out, is this going to be the look? Because my husband and I are in matching colors. We haven't done that in a long time, matched. We used to years ago, you know, when the kids were a lot younger, but I don't know. As we've gotten older, we've gotten busier, so we haven't had time to be all cutesy. So we'll see. All right. Tom Ford is looking nice and smooth. So is Patrick Top, but I feel like right here you can see a little tuggy tug. I'm just gonna blend a little more right there. Yeah, I can feel the difference in the formula, but ultimately you're gonna get a nice look. Definitely. All right, let me clean this off so that we can retouch a little bit, and then we'll finish up the look because we got to touch into that black, of course. So I'm going to go back in to this shade from Tom Ford, tap the excess. We're going to use this to blend the edge and bring it up ever so slightly. That's what I love about this option of a smoky brown eye is it doesn't have to be too over the top. You can still hold on to it, staying majority on your lid and bringing it up just a little. And it does so nice, smooth. Cleaning the brush off. And let's do the same on the other eye. You can see when I go into this one, it's a little more airy, a little more kick up. Yeah, the formulas are definitely a bit different. On the edge here. very nicely. And then we want to retouch the inner color on both sides. So I'm going to go into the same brush. Again, that's the R102 from What's Up Beauty. Just a touch, very slightly. This is just, I want to say like perfecting. It's not really necessary per se, but just to perfect the look. Oh. Now for the black shade, I do a little something on the lower lash. But for fun, before that, let's go in with one of the new gel eyeliners from Tom Ford. I did share all three of them with you. There's two blues and then there's a purple. I think for today's look, we'll go in with the purple. These are a great way to dabble into a little bit of color without feeling overwhelmed or intimidated, because sometimes bright colors, a little too much. It's not appropriate. Maybe, you know, for the occasion, for work, whatever it may be. These gel eyeliners, amazing, and they stay put. We've been using Cocoa and Cream ever since they came out, and you hear me rave about them all the time, so we had to try out the new colors. I don't know if they're limited edition. I hope not. I hope not. E6 from Wayne Goss. Tiny, slim, little tiny brush. We're going to go into the black. Going to pack that on the brush. And I'm going to dab this super close to the lower lash line. And I'm going to connect on the outer eye when we get there. And I'm kind of going to focus this on the outer eye and not bring it all the way. The E3, and remember this has that nice little taper. It's a big brush, but it has that little taper, so I can very slightly just give a little smudge action. It's not going to be much. And that's okay, because we don't want to make this too intense. That's the fun part. And as I'm blending, I'm just pulling it. So it has like a soft, very soft, unintentional little wing. Let me clean off this little guy here. And let's do the same thing with the Patrick Ta. She's giving me a little fallout. Let me just tap a little bit more. Yeah, and this formula is a lot, like I said, the formula in the Patrick Ta is a little stiffer. I can definitely feel it, but it's delivering on the pigment. And it's delivering in general, but again, it's a little touch drier, stiffer of a formula. Same thing, same brush. I don't like that. I got fallout and that looks bad. Versus over here, do you see how clean and easy and simple? Yeah. I'll clean it up, but I don't know. Noted. Mascara. I'm going to touch up Exhale. This is from the Vanilla Sex collection. Such a weird name. Hey Mo, what are you wearing? Vanilla Sex. No. If I didn't tell you, would you know? Can you kind of see the difference? I think they're very close. Obviously, I know and I can see the subtle differences in tones and such, but for the most part, I think we did pretty good in the sense of matching the colors and creating our look. Yeah. And for a more dark, smoky eye, it still feels bright and light and wearable. Yes. Every time I've come and shared the little side quest that we're on with you and we create the looks, reminds me why I love Mink Mirage so much. And again, it's not to say that the comparables aren't good, because they are, but Mink Mirage is still supreme. But we do need to find something that we can use in the meantime. I never thought that a discontinued palette would have such a grip on me. And it's crazy because I keep saying to myself, Monique, these are such basic colors. What's the big deal? It's a big deal. The formula on Mink Mirage, you see it every single time, and you guys tell me every single time. You see how creamy and pigmented and smooth and great it is. You can see the formulas different, okay? But again, we got to find something that is worthy to say, hey, check that one out, in, you know, since you can't get Mink Mirage at the moment. So here's what I noticed, and we'll start off with the Patrick Ta palette. It's a beautiful wearable range of colors, undeniably. I will say it has that modern, let's call it like a velvety matte kind of finish. And the whole time I kept saying you can feel the difference. Now, these two top shades, they are completely different, in my humble opinion, working with and swatching these other four. When I was working with the two darker shades, I used this to compare for the chocolate brown in Mink Mirage and then the black. They're pigmented, they blend, they're great, but you can feel a textural difference between the two. This color story is so beautiful, so approachable. I do love that he has 3 options. I will say, just because I just talked myself out of it, there's other things I can get during the Sephora sale and love. We'll have a video on that coming up soon too anyways, for recommendations and such. So make sure you're subscribed. Anyways, if you have this, you don't need this necessarily. But if you like the idea of this and you want something a little smaller, a little more approachable in size per se, more compact, go with this. But again, if you have this, you don't need this. Bottom line. But I do feel that this formula, it's a little different than this one. The formula on this, again, some are a little softer and creamier, others are a little stiffer and a little bit drier. But I'm just gonna say it because I know you know it's coming. Mink Mirage, she still has her crown. She's still the standard when it comes to this color story for me, and why I constantly still reach for her and love her as much as I do. Patrick Ta definitely comes close in the look and the quality and the overall experience, but Mink Mirage is still superior. I truly feel that nothing has yet matched the tone and overall just elegant experience that I get from my Tom Ford Mink Mirage. This quad, man, for such a basic quad, you know, you say to yourself, oh, it's a basic, whatever. Yeah, you can create looks that look like it, but the quality is something different in good old Mink Mirage. But with all of that said, absolutely, Major Dimension Essential Artistry Edit eyeshadow palette in Deep is 100% worth a look. Especially if you like colors like this and you want those basics that you'll want to reach for quite often and enjoy. If you've enjoyed this Tom Ford Tuesday, please take a moment and give today's video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you get an alert every time I upload. We've got the Sephora sale recommendations coming up and all the other fun things we like to do here on the channel. Thank you as always for spending some time with me today. Stay beautiful, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.